Welcome to the Indian River Charter High School Open House 2020. My name is Mrs. Jillian Kelly. I am going to tell you quickly a little bit about me and then just a brief introduction to each of the classes that I teach. So a little bit about me. I'm married. I have one son. He's 7. He just started 2nd grade. I grew up in Illinois and I lived in Texas for a couple years during grad school before moving to Florida in 2005. This is my 16th year at Charter. I came here straight out of graduate school and have been here ever since. I very much believe in the philosophies of the school. I love teaching home base. I love the visual and performing arts. It's a ton of fun being able to work here. I teach AP Calculus, AP Statistics, Pre-Calculus, Probability and Statistics, as well as home base, and I'm also the math department chair. So a little bit of information for each of my classes. AP Calculus is a college level calc course. It covers limits, derivatives, integrals, as well as applications of all of those things. If you know anything about calculus, that makes sense to you. We do have an AP exam that we prepare for. It is on Tuesday, May 4th at 8 in the morning. Grading for this class is a 60-40 split. 60% of their grade is made up of what I call formative things, which are in development, we're still learning, primarily going to be warm-up questions. I do those almost daily, and I grade them half and half on completion and correctness. I will occasionally do spot checks for homework to keep them honest, and then occasionally longer homework assignments like AP questions, things to be done over the weekend. The other 40% of their grade is what I call summative, which is assessments at the end of a few sections or at the end of the chapter, which are quizzes and tests. To help your student be successful in this class, I would definitely encourage them to form a study group and work with other students in the class. In my experience as a math student as well as a math teacher, math is best done with other people and also with food. So I definitely encourage you, give them food and say, hey, go make friends and do calc. It's fun. I also would encourage them to ask for help inside and outside of class. If they need extra help, they can always email me and I can set up a time with them. And then please also encourage them to focus more on the learning than the grades. AP is hard. And sometimes it takes a while for some of the concepts to fully sink in and for them to demonstrate competency in those topics. So the grades may not reflect at the time how much learning is happening because we have to give grades and assessments on a scheduled time. I assure you that learning is happening regardless of what the grades are reflecting. So please just give them lots of encouragement and, hey, you're doing a great job and you're working really hard, because that's super important in an AP class. For AP Statistics, this is also a college level course. We talk about data analysis and graphs and number summaries. We talk about probability. We talk about inference. What conclusions can we draw from data? The AP exam for this class is on Thursday, May 13th at noon. Grading for this class is a 60-40 split. I do 60% is formative, which is demonstration of knowledge that is still in development. So I do primarily warm-up questions almost daily. I'll occasionally do spot checks on homework to keep them honest, and then occasionally longer homework assignments like AP questions or something like that, frequently over a long weekend. The other component of their grade is summative, which are assessments at the end of sections or at the end of chapters, your quizzes and your tests. To be successful in this class, I would definitely encourage your student to form a study group, to work with other students in the class. Math is learned best when it is learned with other people, in my experience, and also with food. Definitely encourage them to have food when they work on math. They can always ask for extra help from me in or out of class. If they aren't comfortable asking me for help in class, they can always email me and I can set up a time with them. And then my focus is always for my AP classes on the learning more than on the grades. They're going to get so much out of this class regardless of what their grade looks like, regardless of their AP score, that please give them lots of encouragement. If they're working really hard and they're trying really hard, the learning is happening. It's just synthesizing all of that learning at the times that we have assessments is hard. So please encourage them, to focus on how much they've learned and maybe not so much on one particular assessment. For pre-calculus, this class is kind of in two parts. First semester is much like Algebra 2, but it's faster and we dig a little bit deeper. Second semester is where the new material lives for most of them, is trigonometry. If they're going to struggle in one of those 2 semesters, it's probably going to be in second semester. It's been a while since many of them have seen new material, so that's the semester where they're going to have to dig in a little bit harder. Their grades for this class are a 60-40 split. 60% of their grade is made up of warm-up questions, which we do almost every day, and homework assignments. Homework assignments this year, because of COVID and half on the computer and half in the classroom, I decided to make homework optional this year. They can still turn in homework. Homework is what I consider an effort grade, and I wanted that to be part of their overall grade if they wanted to take advantage of that opportunity. Homework I post either Sunday night or Monday morning every week, and then it's due by the following Sunday. I grade homework on completion, not on correctness, so as long as they're trying and showing their work, they should get full credit from a homework assignment. The other portion of their grade is summative, which is assessments at the ends of sections or at the ends of chapters, and that's your quizzes and your tests, 40% of their overall grade. The things that you should encourage your student to do, forming a study group, working with other students in the class is always a good idea. They can always ask me for help, either in or out of class. And then even though the homework is optional, turning it in is a good idea. That's their buffer. If they're not so good on quizzes and tests, turning in the homework and getting those extra grades in the grade book can be very advantageous to them. I also suggest, especially for pre-cal, one of the biggest things that I hear is that I know how to do it in class, but when I get to a test, I fall apart. Rehearse the test-taking process. There's practice tests at the end of each of the chapters. Sit down with the practice test, set yourself a little timer, class time is 50 minutes, and sit there and do the practice test. No notes, no distractions, with the timer, and see how it goes. And try to test out or try to mimic the test-taking scenario if that's where you struggle. The other class that I teach is probability and statistics. It is coded actually as an honors class, but I don't really teach it as an honors class. My primary goals in this class are to, yes, teach the content of statistics, but give students a positive math experience. Some of them may have not been so successful in math classes previous to this one, and for some of them, this may be their last math class. So I really want it to be a positive experience. Their grade is a 60-40 split. 60% of their grade is going to be warm-up questions, which happen almost daily. Those are mandatory. And then homework assignments, which I give throughout the week. And then those are due every Sunday, but homework is optional. I normally grade homework in class, but because of the half in class and half at home, I decided to make homework optional this year, but I did want to give them the opportunity to do it. Homework is what I consider to be an effort grade. I pick 2 problems. I grade for completion, so even if they do them wrong, as long as they try, they explain, they show their work, they should get full credit for a homework assignment. In the other category, 40% is summative. That's kind of an accumulation of knowledge, either midway through the chapter or the end of the chapter. Notes. I usually have a workbook in statistics, which I did not assign this year because of the half and half online and in the classroom. But if they want to do the notes, I post them in Google Classroom. They can print them, they can complete them, and then they can submit them for a quiz grade. Again, optional, but always a good idea. Little bit of effort grade goes a long way to balancing. Quizzes and tests in that category are obviously mandatory and contribute to the rest of that 40%. So to be successful in this class, definitely encourage your student to ask questions, either in or out of class. They can talk to me. Turning in the homework and turning in the notes, even though they're optional. If your student is not a good test taker, take advantage of those opportunities. Those are just effort-based. Notes we do in class, I fill them in class. All I have to do is write it down. Homework, put in some effort, and I will reward you for it. Home base. So home base this year, our times are a little bit different. We meet Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday for a half an hour, and home base is like split up. Some of them are Monday, Thursday, some of them are Tuesday, Friday, and we're figuring out as we go. My home base goals this year are the same as they've always been. Team building, family time, respect for one another, and keeping our space clean. How we're executing those goals is a little bit different this year, and it's still in development, and I'm figuring it out, but we're getting there. In terms of needing anything for home base, they don't spend as much time in there anymore as they used to, just because of social distancing and all of this craziness. So we really don't find ourselves in need of paper plates or utensils or any of that stuff yet. I'll keep you guys posted. But if you, for some reason, find yourself in an abundance of sanitizing supplies, Clorox wipes, hand sanitizer, stuff like that, you can always send some of those things in if you have the urge. Grading for home base is the same as it's been previously. Chores are 70% of their grade. Individual meetings and personal development are 30% of their grade. Yes, your children still have chores, and the virtual students still have chores too. Unfortunately, the virtual students are not doing chores for you, they're doing chores for me. So I'm sorry that I cannot force them to clean your bathrooms for you. They still have to do chores for me, and it has to help us as a family. Home-based requirements are still happening. You do not need to make up the spring requirements. Spring requirements have been waived. But if they completed any requirements in the spring or in the course of the summer, yes, I can take all of those, because any requirements they turn in, I use them and I push them forward, and we finish stuff early, and it's great. So 10 volunteer hours, I sent out a survey to them because we actually have an option of completing those together this year. You can ask them about that. And then government meeting, cultural event, because of the pandemic, both of those can actually happen online this year. Fall requirements are due on Friday, December 11th. That's our deadline. And then in the spring, it's Friday, May 14th. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of you. It's great to be back, as different as all of this is with the computer and the kids in class and the kids at home and masks and all of it. It is really wonderful to be back and to be working with your students again. It's a great place to be, and they're taking it all in stride. They're doing great. So if you have any questions or need to contact me, that is my contact information, and I hope you have a great day.